Now it is my pleasure and privilege to call upon Shri Santanu Sengupta, convener FIPS Forum and Director ACMFI UK, to start the proceedings.
Thank you, Deepa. Thank you, guests and dignitaries and well-wishers for this first inaugural roundtable of the Knowledge Quest on behalf of FIPS Forum. And I'm grateful that Catalyst and Rajneesh took the initiative and took on the challenge to pilot these initiatives all across as we go across the country and many other emerging markets in quest of finding what is standing in the way to achieve and attain the financial inclusion. And it appears from various prognoses and the deliberations and the discourses that unless we develop payment systems and infrastructure concomitant to that, it's not going to happen. We had a very fruitful and gala event in FIPS Delhi, which started this initiative down the line. But we thought instead of creating a jamboree and a networking issues, let's go a little bit by bit on each of the segments of that conference which covered. And at that point of time, we felt that a lot of private players as well as the telcos, the telecom companies and other people could not participate due to the pressing engagements in that busy season. So 2014, we are starting with the bang, and we'll go first with these mobile financial services, which has been one of the vexed issues. And I will take you through a journey which we started a long time back around 2000, 2001. Synonymously, when the Millennium Development Goal, UN started thinking that how we can make the growth more inclusive. And in India, we started with the Mission Mode project, the clarion call of Professor Swaminathan. And one of the architects, out of which came the e-governance policies and implementation and the roadmap and the ICT inclusion in India started. And today, after many insurmountable battle and lofty achievements, Mr. Chandrasekhar has now taken on the challenge of piloting India's ICT proliferation in a much more wider areas of expertise. So it will not be, it will be worthwhile to mention that what we did that last time, that while we deliberated and discussed in many such forums in five-star ambience, we were able to bring to the fore the grassroots people, the organization for which it actually matters. And many such parallel initiatives we happen. And I started with digital inclusion, then moved into financial inclusion with the banks way back in 2006. It faltered. Then we had BC model. So I'm not going to talk about it. A lot of bankers and one of many pilots and the who piloted whatever little or whatever big we have been able to achieve in India. A lot of people are assembled here, so they will speak out. This FIPS forum, I would like to point out that we have circulated an approach note. And I would be thankful to the participants that it's not a lecture session. We want to come out with, discuss what are the problem areas, despite the achievements that we have been able to do, commensurate with India's stature as a world power economy today in the world. Are we commensurate with their stature as one of the fifth largest global economy? Have we been able to do the justice to that? Have we been able to fulfill the aspirations that people normally have? The growth has many proportions and dimensions. It reveals expectations. People start agitating. It sometimes gets skewed. Sometimes it gets derailed. And if you look around, if you look at Thailand, if you look at just coming out of Bangladesh, I mean, Mehboob has been, he's always there. Next time we are going to, for a big occasion in FIPS Dhaka. And somehow or the other, they have been able to come out of this logjam that was, heading Bangladesh in a disaster. Somehow or the other, let's hope that it's coming around. In India also, we are facing the same challenges. But if you look at the prognosis of financial inclusion, mandated now by G20 and AFI. Every nation is running, almost about 110 countries now on board, including India. And fortunately, I have been traveling around the world in most of the emerging markets. And unless the emerging markets and the powers like India, Brazil, and China is, of course, a separate story. We have some representatives from Union Pay trying to understand what is we are going to do. It's a different story. So if we can make it happen, the growth will be much more inclusive and world will be growing and India needs to grow. And this is one area where we feel we can make a significant contribution to our GDP and many such parallel concomitants. There are many issues. The telcos will have to say that what has been ailing. Is it the regulators or have we been make enough regulatory provisions to make use of, to go to the last mile and make remittances and inclusion happen? We will talk about M-Pesa. I mean, I think Vodafone, Suresh is coming. I think he will be deliberating that he is heading M-Pesa in India. But just to say a few words, I welcome Mr. Padmanabhan, who he is not keeping very well, but sir, can you join us here? I mean, you're welcome. A lot more people are going and trying to understand all that. But unfortunately, it didn't travel down to Tanzania or even. It's not been a success story. So you just can't copy-paste. But still, what Kenya has been able to show us that if the regulatory and the business people come together, the need of the people can be served. But it's not a per se, because what Smart and Globe has been able to do because of very many issues. But M-Pesa is today doing, and what Bangladesh is today doing, I mean, Ms. Goel will definitely like to highlight, because we were talking about the article that she has written. Looking at the size of India, our transaction has not crossed even or matching compared to Brazil, I mean, Bangladesh and Pakistan, let alone Brazil and China or other countries. Why is it not? What we could do, what the Reserve Bank can do to enable transactions, what the telcos can adopt and liaise and shake hands with the banks to make it happen, and what the banks can do to make it happen on the ground. Where Mr. Hota, I think Ram has gone to some urgent meeting, but he was to come here. NPCA is going to make it happen. And it's not only, you see, people are all across, but I go to different countries to learn what they have learned. And when they see the astounding story of India, they want to learn from us. And what major achievements we have made, which I'm not going to talk about, Mr. Chandrasekhar will be able to tell you more about it, and the next challenges that the India needs to go out and reach out to the emerging markets to let them happen so that we grow also externally. I mean, what Brazil has today done, they're carrying the entire Latin America with them. We need to create. We have our pockets of influence, but we need to go out more to externalize our own efforts so that India become really the powers that be today. Now, unless we internally grow the cribbings or the possibilities of achieving those goals, we can't do that. So the first half will talk about, after the inaugural session, the telcos will be telling their stories or the woes or the prospects, and it will be open forum. Raise your hands. The moderators will allow you to ask questions. We don't, as I said, you deliberate, let's discuss and come out at the end of the session. We have to come out in the validity session, the outcomes and the how would you process, which Rajneesh is going to discuss with more. The same story with the banks. And then we talk about the consumers, the customer protection. I'm not going to touch on the CCFS report, the Nachiket Committee, or Nachiket More Committee report that has come out. It's a systemic design, or they are talking of many, but instant reactions from Mr. Mundra and other people have been that it's too lofty a goal that we are not going to attain by 2016 probably. It has touched upon many issues that we ought to have looked into. But when you look ahead, we need to look back that what we've been able to do and what we have not been able to do. And where has been the gaps? This is one such effort we are starting today, and it's not the beginning of the journey. We will continue, this particular session will continue with many rounds of interaction, smaller, bigger, in different spheres in India, and sometimes go to Bangladesh and I'll get from the people that if you could do something, even M-Pesa could do something or Pakistan could do something, then we ought to have done a little better considering our size and the vibrancy of our economy. That's it. And I hope that let us not make it another jamboree. Let's go to the issues, come out with the issues, identify the issues. There are issues galore. What is more relevant and important for us to take out the issues and redress or address them so that we can come to a redressal. And help yourself. It's a very frugal arrangement. It's not a big conference that normally you see. I mean, I want more interactions, and so that we can come out with that, because as we travel down to other economies and all that, a lot of you will be going along with us. That is we are trying to bring in many experts from across the globe, and also the Indian story across the other shores, so that the exchange become more vibrant and meaningful. And you know, I see that a lot of Indian potentials in creating those markets, helping out Bangladesh, Nepal, and the emerging economies like Myanmar and other places. They're looking forward to our interventions. And what more can they expect unless we do as other nations the BRICS countries are doing. With those words, I welcome you again all and expect you to have a full day, enjoy your frugal hospitality and the discussions, and animated discussion we want all on, so that we can come to the next level of prognosis down the line. Thank you very much.